And it's that time for us to take a look at what Nigerians are saying, and we are happy that they're actually talking about the current situation that's taking place in the country. Let's start off first with a last-minute meeting called by the federal government to indeed avert the proposed nationwide strike and, of course, the protest, I beg your pardon, by the Nigerian Labour Congress yesterday. And as we can say, we can tell you categorically and confirm that it ended in a deadlock. So, present at the closed-door meeting where the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Ministers of Labour, you did have a Greek, Finance, Budget and Planning, Secretary to the Government, to the Federation, Head of Service, as well as representatives of the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress. Well, speaking to journalists after the closed-door meeting, the NLC President Joe Ajaero said the protest will be held as planned today. He said the song must continue to play. So protest has indeed started. Anyway, let's see what the social media space is saying about it. First to react, of course, are Nigerians who care, just like you and I. But then again, people are talking tough on the social media space. Well, let's start off first with the very first tweet. Mr. Liverpool says, NLC, I beg, our school never dropped memo. Say, make we no go school tomorrow. Help us remind them, please. Federal Polytechnic, Ede. Well, I'm sure your school now knows what the situation simply is, that the strike and, of course, the protest must go on. Let's see more reactions quickly. Well, St. Clair would like to clear you. Did you see what I did there? St. Clair would like to clear you on the latest update. She says, strike where una go call off this morning. Well, they're not calling it off. Rather, they're saying that they must go on because the meeting between the NLC and the presidency ended in a deadlock, which means nothing was agreed. It means a luta continua. Let's take a look at another one. This one says, are we protesting for hunger or for a good economy? That's exactly what's being said. It says, are we protesting for hunger or good economy? Well, I'm taking a look at that question very quickly, and I can see that it has a lot of reactions under this tweet as well. But many Nigerians are saying we're protesting for everything. Hunger, economy, talk about education, insecurity, and the likes. This is what Nigeria... yeah, okay, here's another one. One last one. Hamza Idris says, why is only the federal government employees... Why is it that only the federal government employees are benefiting from the strike? Come to think about it. Well, come see, come ça. That's what we see so far on this particular reactions. But that's what Nigerians are indeed reacting to. And a very last one here says, it has been tiring. If you always start something to no productive end, then a closed-door meeting without an update or solution. So what's the point? Well, the point is we're waiting for Joe Ajaero, the president of the NLC, or its members to indeed carry out a press release, or better still, speak to the journalists after they did a few hours ago, saying that it ended in a deadlock. We're hoping that they would come out with another press release and tell us what the way forward is. But guess what? The NLC are not the only ones who are going on strike. There are other organizations that are joining them on strike, and we're going to let you know who and who and who. But do recall that the Trade Union Congress pulled out of the strike, but not just the Trade Union Congress. Aside from that not joining, we do have others who are joining the strike. And as you can see on the screen there, we do have the Nigeria Civil Service Union. They have said they are joining the strike. They're joining the protest. And that's exactly what they're doing this morning. Another person or another organization joining National Union of Printing, Publishing and Paper Products Workers. They're also protesting. They're joining the protest today on a Tuesday. Nigeria Union of Railway Workers are equally joining, the affiliate of Nigeria Labour Congress, very known. And they're saying they're also joining as well. And then lastly, Amalgamated Union of Public Corporation, Civil Service, Technical and Recreational Services Employees. They are also joining this particular protest, which indeed begins today. Well, If you think this is all Nigerians are reacting to, then you may be wrong. There are many more stories coming from Nigeria. But let's take one more, and that's got to do with the Oronsaye report. Well, different reactions here and there, like we said. Started off in 2012 from President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Azikiwe, yeah, you could call all his names together, who had indeed championed the course and said that that report should be implemented. But then again, we never saw anything come out of that. And then came President Muhammadu Buhari, the past president, right before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And yet, there is a call for the report to be implemented. How are Nigerians taking this? Well, let's take a trip to the social media world and find out what they're saying. Well, Emeka Ikpo says, third president in a row to implement it. The report no dey finish. Atayao. You know, it's a good question to ask. Doesn't it end? Isn't it ever going to be implemented? Another one says, this is from Aboduri, they should also make sure government workers clock in and clock out using fingerprint. That will reduce the level of ghost workers. We do recall what has taken place in this country many times, that we do have ghost workers where they are indeed not there, but salaries are being paid. So this is one of the suggestions he's making, aside from implementing the Oronsaye report. Let's take a look at another tweet very, very quickly and see what else Nigerians are indeed saying. Vichananu says, let them start with road safety and VIO. Those people are confused, doing the same job with different uniform. And we did talk about that a few minutes ago. Remember our guest who also joined us. And of course, my colleague Olive did highlight that as well. Let's take one more tweet very quickly and see what Nigerians are saying. Reduce the allowances of the National Assembly members too, and channel it into something more productive. So this is what Nigerians are saying. These are the reactions, especially to the stories that are indeed making the waves. If you look at this, you'd get to know that there are three major ways the Oronsaye reports can be implemented. The first is that there will be agencies that need to be scrapped. Okay, so they're scrapped. There's actually merger, and of course there's subsides where you have other agencies that would actually be under another agency, and that's exactly what it's starting to look like. So remember, some agencies need to be scrapped. Some have to be subsumed. Yes, subsumed. They have to be subsumed, that they have to be under another agency, while you also have mergers as well. So three ways. Olive, your thoughts on the reactions, especially?
Well, the reactions aren't surprising. It's Nigerians are really tired of hearing the same things day in, day out, right? We've seen this play out from years before. The Oronsaye report has been, what, 12 years in the implementation, not in the making. Oh, yeah? Yes, some would argue that there were other challenges during the President Muhammadu Buhari's time that did not allow them implement it. There was COVID-19, there was this, there was that. There were several other, reports. I did talk about the Joda committee report as well. That one even said that if they had cut down the number of ministers to 19 and 17, senior and junior, that in the next 4 years they would have been able to save at least 1 billion naira. So there's so much cutting that needs to be done. I think we're just a very lavish nation. We like to live loud. We see it in the small things. When you buy a small car, you want to show off and show out. Your wedding, party, my neighbor was here. We did it so much so that we named the generator I better pass my neighbor, because you just want to show off. We're such a lavish nation, and it's very evident in how our governance plays out. So a serious government that wants to implement the Oronsaye report would also look at the cabinet, would look at, all the PPAs and SSAs and SAs, senior special advisor to the senior special advisors. One person would have like 4 assistants. Make it make sense. There's so much cutting that needs to be done. Now is not the time for lavish spending. And to be able to actually get that effect, there's also some level of clarity that Nigerians need. The conversation about giving governors how many billion that slipped out the other day.
It's been taken back now.
We haven't had any explanations about that. The governors have come out to say nothing of the sort has happened. So it just feels like there's so much shrouded in secrecy. Yeah. Openness. How much are these people earning? How do we not know how much our leaders are earning?
And yet, you also have a senator saying that the money they're earning is not even enough.
And they're driving luxury vehicles, and their explanation
compared to what they should be earning.
So when they come and tell the people of Nigeria to endure that things will get better, I see why Nigerians will not take politicians seriously. Because charity, they say, begins at home. From your own end, you're not cutting down the cost of governance. You're not ensuring that you're making lives easier for Nigerians. We are the ones that are bearing the brunt of the difficulty with leadership. But you are cruising in the comfort of your own homes. Your children are schooling abroad. You know, you're living a lavish life, driving luxury cars. Your explanation for the luxury cars would be that there's some roads you need to get to. The roads are bad. Whose responsibility is it?
Bumper is very critical. You know,
it's just really sad.
If we go ahead, we'll continue to break down these points, but let's also let Nigerians know that we had mentioned earlier the meeting between the NLC, that's the Nigeria Labour Congress, and of course the presidency, the federal government, let's put it that way, ended in a deadlock. So it's a luta continua, meaning that the protest still holds, because that's what the president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, did say. And then you've seen the reactions. But then again, I quickly browsed through the office of the secretary to the government of the federation to take a look at how many federal agencies we have. So far on the website, it is 42. 42 is what we have on the website. And don't forget, the president did add new agencies to that. But then again, this is what you have been saying, and this is how you have reacted to some of the major stories that's taken place here in Nigeria.